all know a guy who only occasionally shaves for big occasions, and it's because that occasional shave really hurts. It's the time of year for big occasions, and yet there he is, suffering with that cheap drugstore razor. Let's help him out. Henson Shaving's line of razors, built with aerospace precision, deliver a smooth shave your dad, brother, and even son can enjoy, eventually. With replacement blades just 10 cents each, you'll buy it once and they'll use it for life. How's that for the perfect gift? Celebrate with 100 free blades on your first purchase, and no subscription headaches. HensonShaving.com/holiday.
Don't forget that your skin is your largest organ, and the sun can be your skin's worst enemy. Dermatologist recommended Neutrogena products offer the ultimate protection for your skin. From makeup remover wipes to Hydro Boost Water Gel Facial Moisturizer, BJ's has your entire lineup of Neutrogena skincare products. And now through December 3rd, save $4 on any Neutrogena product at BJ's. Love your skin back and save now through December 3rd, only at BJ's.
Welcome to the No Fruit Podcast,
where we talk about our life experiences with a spiritual twist. Hosted by Maurice
and Kafa. We hope you enjoy today's episode.
Family.
What up?
How y'all doing out there? So, y'all know what is coming up this week, right?
Another day.
No. This weekend. What's coming up this weekend, y'all? It's Mother's Day.
Yay.
And, I just want us to make sure that we really reach out to our mothers, aunts, grandmothers, cousins, anyone that is a woman, lady. I'm trying to find the right words to say where it doesn't sound creepy, crazy, or whatever. But I just want to make sure that those that are ladies, that they are represented, whether or not you have kids or not. To some degree, you have been a mother or some type of figure, one way or the other. So we just want to thank y'all for the opportunity to just have, some of y'all in our lives. But I really have to say, I thank my wife for being such a great mother. I know we've had some ups and downs, bumps and bruises, through the years about parenting and things like that. But overall, she's been a great mom.
Oh, thank you.
She really has overcome some of the things that you might think that would pull some other people behind or back or something like that. Like, she's really been a hustler in some of those things. And in that, I want to say she does not exhibit that some certain fears when it comes to our kids. She's allowed our kids to really explore a vast amount of things growing up, which I did not have the opportunity to for myself. So I really thank her for allowing our kids to grow in a lot of different ways. So I really have to thank her and let her know publicly that I appreciate her and for what she's done as a mother. Now, I do have to give our mothers, a shout out, all that type of stuff. Shout out to all our personal mothers, our biological mothers and grandmothers. But I really have to say, Kaf, thank you very much for, being you.
You're quite welcome. Yes, so again, happy Mother's Day to everyone who is a biological mother or godmother or a mother figure. We just shout you out and praise God for you and for all that you do to help this village. Because
right.
As we know, one of the slogans are that it takes an entire village to raise a child. Right. So, we say there's single mothers out there, but the reality is that's really not. Like, they have somebody else in their camp. Let's really, really think about that. Like, I don't think there, some people say, oh, you came from a single parent or you came from a single mother household. But you had grandmothers, or you had aunties, or you had the little lady next door, or you had somebody at church. Like there was always somebody else
right.
that helped along the way, whether they were watching you after school, giving you words of wisdom, showing you something. Like I don't think that we have true single mothers, that there's no one else but them rearing a child.
And I think, I think that's a good point because, you hear that those terms, single parent, home, so forth, from someone thrown out there a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I think that when you think about a single parent, it's just that you don't know what they deal with once the doors close. If you get what I mean.
I understand.
So I hear where you're coming from. And that's for, that's all the external. Like you said, the lady next door or whatever else. But what happens, to those parents, who are really struggling with those 2, 3, 4 kids that are doing the virtual work right now, where technically, you're not really allowing other people in your house, per se. You get what I mean? So I think right now, in this last year, if you say single parent or single family, whatever home, no, I think this is the epitome of that term now.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I mean? Because they're working, they're becoming the teacher, the disciplinary, all that type of stuff. Like you really, to be honest, I think it's made people step up,
right,
in this situation. Can I sit here and say I've come from a single parent home? Yes. I mean, it was my mom, but, did she have a male friend that was there with us? Or, like you said, was my grandmother and my aunts around? Yes. And they were some tremendous help.
Exactly.
So I hear exactly where you're coming from, what you're referencing. But, I just wonder how many people that, look like you would try to beat you up, for taking away their shine.
I'm not taking away their shine, but again, as you started with the show with like, hey, even if you're not a biological mother, happy Mother's Day to you as well. So again, I'm just shouting out those who are a part of the camp, who are a part of the village, who are providing motherly wisdom, who are providing motherly advice, who are in that role of nurturer, in some way. Nothing is like your mother, no. However, there are other people around, that you lean on, even as a mother. Like there's others that you lean on to kind of get you through.
And I'm not, hopefully you don't feel as though I'm taking away what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And I totally get where you're coming from. And I wonder, do we really, as a society, from the stance that you're coming from, do we even take that into consideration? That when it really comes down to it, it is a village,
right,
that's raising these, the children. Because in reality, you send the kids to school. Hey, who was teaching the kids?
Exactly. It's somebody else's mother, probably. I mean,
right,
or somebody else's father, somebody else's aunt, uncle, whatever it is. It's still somebody else. We don't have that animal vibe of, hey, I've had my litter, my child, my whatever, and everybody else moves away. Like,
did you just call kids litter?
I'm saying
I'm
the
messing with you. I'm
animal
messing with
side
you.
of things. Like,
I'm messing with you.
As psychologists study, different animals and things like that. Sometimes the two parents don't raise that child together. No. It is all on the mother. And then it's not like, hey, if there are other dens, or if you will, when it comes to the lionesses and those types of things, they don't always all come together either. Sometimes it happens, but when it does, it's like, it's rare that, an auntie lioness would come and help the mother lioness raise these 3-4 cubs. Like, it just doesn't happen.
I think with lions, they kind of do it more of a community vibe versus if there are two lionesses within that pack that has cubs, I think the lesser one is not necessarily getting the meals like the older,
Right.
whatever the more established one would, for the kids or whatever. I forgot that dynamic, but there are some where if you actually do have cubs within that group, like, no, you're actually kicked out. So,
And that's what I'm kind of getting at.
yeah.
I don't see any of us kind of like, hey, I had a kid and I got to do the whole thing all by myself.
Right.
I have to teach them. I have
Right.
to nurture them. I have to do everything by myself. And, it's not there. Like, we have a support system.
Right.
And it's a blessing that we have that we don't have to do all those things.
I mean, we're not like the cheetahs. The cheetahs are always, I think it's the cheetah where they like totally by themselves.
Right.
And I know we're getting along off track of we're going deep into, but I think what we're getting at is that one, we're referencing God's creation being, like you said, the animal kingdom, and that what have we learned from their experiences and lifestyles and things like that compared to our own, and what is the importance of community? What is the importance of understanding who's there to assist you in rearing the children to being a blessing to society?
Right.
I think that's key. That's something that I think that's kind of missed in certain situations. And again, we're not trying to take away from those individuals who says, "Oh, I'm a single parent." No, but I think, if you take a look at it from a deeper perspective, you're not necessarily by yourself. Like, you're not going out there hunting for, on your own. You're not, all the education is not solely on your shoulders.
Right.
And
medical, all those things.
Right.
You have a village, that support you as you're raising the child. So, again, blessings and thankfulness to God that He's provided so that we have all that.
Right.
Because I can say, as a first-time mother, we called the doctor's office so much.
Right.
With every
Right.
little thing. So I was grateful that, hey, she's crying and she won't stop. And what am I supposed to do? And, hey, the kid is doing this and the fever won't go down. And
Right.
we've given them Tylenol. And can I give her too much Tylenol? All those things. We had that village
Right.
for someone to call. And not only that, then if the doctor said, oh, she's fine, then we would call somebody else. We'd call the mother of a church. Like, all right, lady, you've had kids. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, and they say, oh, we'll just rub a little bit of this on their gums, and it's probably just teething. Oh,
Right.
okay. All right. Well, that soothed it a little bit, So it was all of those things for all of those people that we could talk to, even our own friends that were having children at the same time. Like, we
Right.
would compare notes. Like, our kid's sitting up. Is your kid sitting up? Hey, our kid is doing this. Is your kid doing that? So again, it was that village. It was that peace, and that having that just gave us peace of it overall. So for those that don't have it, I pray for you. I hope that and I wish that you would have a little bit more of a village. But again, happy Mother's Day is what we're talking about. I think Mother's Day is always the second Sunday of the month in May, and it's interesting how people always find time to do a whole lot during that time, but mothers are around all the time. So not only right now do you think about your mom and those who were motherly figures to you, but think about them other times of the year as well. So
I mean, I think overall, mothers, I think they get accolades.
Well, most definitely. I mean, there's
throughout
songs,
the year.
there's jewelry, there's
Right.
everything. You know what I mean? We talk about that quite often in our household. How there's like nothing really for fathers. Like,
Right.
there's no father's real song. Like, I can sit here and spit out a whole lot of mothers or songs that are dedicated to somebody's mama,
Right.
somebody's mother, but not too many about dads.
The only
Not
song
in a loving, affectional way.
the only song I could think of that's towards dads would be the Luther Vandross song.
Right. Right.
That's the only one I could think of.
Yes.
Otherwise, no. Like you said, I can't.
I mean, that's positive. I mean, I
Right.
can think of some that are about their dads that's not so positive.
And I think even the one that particular one is like
Sad.
referencing his father passing.
Right.
Right.
So it can be sad.
Right. So, so you're right. It's not too many father-like songs out there. Like, you hear about Papa was a Rolling Stone. So,
Right.
songs like that.
That was the one that came to mind. I just didn't want to go there, but so yeah. But there is that love for mother, and the old folks say, "Mama's baby, Papa's maybe."
Right.
You know what I mean? So maybe that's why there was always like, "Hey, I'm not really sure who my dad is," or
Right.
"You told me this is who my dad was, and then I found out later on that it wasn't my dad."
Right.
Those types of things. So maybe that's why there's this thing, but again, understanding that there is a connection from the very beginning,
Right.
Before even birth, the connection between a child and a mother, it's so beautiful, and it's even holy when we think about Mary and we think about Jesus,
Right. Right.
how their connection, like Joseph didn't have nothing to do with it at all,
Right.
So likewise in our communities now, like we have men that are around that are not your biological father, but they step up and do so much. But we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah, we'll talk about around Daddy's Day.
But again, all that mothers do, and I think it's kind of interesting how some religions, or at least the Catholics, really uplift Mary. Like, I think sometimes even more than others. So, I mean, we drive around our neighborhood and we see Mary on lawns, and,
Right.
they just really, really lift her up, and through prayer and through praise.
Right.
And I understand she was the mother of all mothers, and she was a pure and perfect, well, not perfect, but she was a pure person.
Right.
That became, the one.
I guess when you say perfect though, are they referencing because you might have said the correct thing,
Right.
From their mindset. Was she perfect because she was a virgin?
She was perfect for that role that she played.
So I mean, that's the only reason why I mean, and I hear what you're saying too. I think it's I guess it's a collaboration of all the above. Perfect for the role, virgin, whatever that might have been. Sometimes I just wonder. I think what you're getting at is that why she lifted up so high.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I wonder. I mean, I'm not.
Yeah. I mean, because we're not Catholic, we don't
right.
know.
I'm not that interested. I'm going to dive into Catholicism to try to find that out.
Right.
But I've always wondered, like, okay, do you have any representation of Jesus? Do you
Right.
pray to Jesus? Like, oh Mary, like, that's just their prayers. It's
Right.
oh Mary, oh Mary, oh Mary. You have a Hail Mary. You have all these great things. So, just interesting. So again, with all of that, is that why we lift up moms so much? And I think some of it is just women being emotionally connected to the children and all of that. That might also
I think
be a part
even when you think about it, up until right now, to be honest, when you think about it from a war perspective, right? Even in war, it's the guys that's going out fighting. The women are home, right? So I think that there's even more of a connection, in that realm. And I'm saying that because I think about some family history I had come across from the mid 1800s for my family, and just how I don't know how many great grandmoms she is, but she had a farm in South Carolina, and her husband was old because she married an older man, but he had, from the papers I read, it looks like he might have died or something like that. So she was raising the kids at a very young age during the Civil War. And she had to take care of the kids and fight for the kids because, some of the soldiers were coming trying to take her wheat and this, that, and the other. So, you think about mothers, how much, mothers have to really endure when they take care of their children in that whatever scenario. So even when we were talking about single parents or single mothers, I think that term, that might be such a really old term. Right. It's going all the way back to that period. So, yeah, I mean, but like you said, there's so much out there for women and trying to uplift women, that type of thing. And sometimes I think that single parent vibe or that single mother vibe, as we're talking about it, I almost feel negative about it. Mm-hmm. Versus what they're trying to do now, where they're trying to change the mentality of a single parent home. So, I just really want to know what y'all think about that, out there.
One quick question for you, just to lighten a little bit. What was one of your favorite or one of your most memorable Mother's Day gifts that you've given to your mom?
So.
Yes. Do tell.
So for me, it was there's one Mother's Day where my mom's friend and her daughter had spent the night. And they were really, really good friends or whatever. Ended up calling her aunt and her daughter our cousin. And so our parents had walked out. They had, not walked out, but they had gone out real quick, right? So the three of us decided that we were going to cook for our mothers for Mother's Day. Mm-hmm. With me being the eldest, I decided that we was going to bake some chicken because that's what I could do, right, at that time. My mom at that time used to get wingdings all the time.
Okay.
All right? I called myself making them spicy.
Uh-oh.
What ended up happening, they were unedible.
Wow.
Yeah, I put way too much paprika, red pepper flakes, and something else. Like, they were...
You had made them red, like, with love.
Yes, they were literally red. They were unedible. And I tried, and people tried to partake of them, and we just couldn't do it.
Wow. What did you serve with the wingdings?
I can't remember because
that outshines everything else.
Yeah, yeah. But I do remember that same day we had I had a little basketball. You know how the basketball courts you hang over the door?
Yes.
And we had it in the dining room. And so we sat there and played basketball in the living room with them. Oh, it was funny, so we did that and then ate our unedible chicken. So so I would say that was probably will be my most memorable Mother's Day. Mm-hmm. What about yours?
I don't have anything that sticks out.
Okay.
Necessarily. I do remember, I don't know if it was a Mother's Day or a birthday. I do remember my dad and my mom liked the Flintstones. And so we had gotten her a t-shirt with Fred Flintstone on it and 2 tickets to like a theater, and had kind of like made the tickets so that they were coming out of his hand.
Okay.
And she was very happy about that. So it was, small little things.
Right.
I don't recall anything major like from Mother's Day.
Okay.
Most recently, it's been, cooking her a meal on Mother's Day to show appreciation. that type of a thing.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, her birthday is pretty close to it, so it's kind of like, hey, we just got over her birthday, what else is there, type thing. So always looking for ideas for that, but and things that I would mention, she's like, no, I don't want that, no, I don't need that, so kind of just getting her whatever she kind of leans towards and saying she wants,
right,
anything like that. So as a child, don't remember. I do remember making her chicken one time, and it wasn't cooked all the way. But I don't think it was for Mother's Day. I don't recall.
Okay.
What reason that I decided to get up and make chicken one night.
Okay.
But yeah, it wasn't done all the way.
Yeah. No, that was my Mother's Day. But I do. But I do remember making chicken not cooked all the way. So I'm pretty sure that went over very well, Kyle.
Very well. Yes. Yes. Yeah, so Mother's Day is interesting,
Yes.
I think it was started by a president, decided he wanted to honor his mom or something like that. So I know in the city of Philadelphia, there is a placard on Market Street about Mother's Day. Did you know that?
No.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so near City Hall, there's a placard that says Mother's Day, and I guess it gives you some detail, but I haven't had a chance to read it because it's in the middle of the street, so if you're driving, you can't really read it. So I think it's for those that are walking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're in the city of Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection.
And Mother's Day.
Yeah. Read about Mother's Day.
Read about Mother's Day. There's a placard somewhere on Market Street. I think that's the street. Yeah, Market Street near City Hall, near Macy's or something. If it's still Macy's, I don't know. But yeah.
And I know we talked a lot about Mother's Day, our own, and all that type of stuff. We didn't come from a spiritual / church experience.
We talked about Mary.
Yeah, I guess we mentioned her. Yeah.
She's a mom.
The only reason I said that because I don't have, when you said something about memorable Mother's Days, I don't even remember a memorable Mother's Day in church. I mean, because it's like, I guess, because depending on who's the pastor, it was the same thing every year.
Right.
And to be honest, no matter the church, my home church, I was there for 20 some odd years, right? That's my home church. I remember having 3 different pastors, and each Mother's Day was the same under every pastor. You get what I mean? So I think even it doesn't matter what church, I think just from a traditional perspective, Mother's Days and certain, I mean, Easter was always, depending on the pastor, that was always hit or miss. But Mother's Day it's always been the same. It hasn't been too exciting. It's almost like another day. It is, but it isn't. If you get what I mean. So yeah, that's it. Really interesting.
I think we've had some that kind of gave out flowers or something like that here and there. Like I said, nothing extraordinary. But again, I wasn't, as a young person, I wasn't a mother, and my mom didn't go to church with me, so it was like, hey, I have to get this ready for Mother's Day. It wasn't like you say, Easter, that everybody kind of participated in that.
Right.
It wasn't an annual day where you had something that you had to rehearse. So, yeah, Mother's Day was just, hey, like a birthday, like everybody's, who's
right.
Mom, we appreciate you and thank you for what you do, and keep on.
So make sure that you could tell us about your Mother's Day, what you plan on doing, not doing, what you plan on getting your mom, because right now I have no clue, so I can't even talk about that right now. And so let us know. Tell us your favorite Mother's Day story, whether you were the one that did something or you were the receiver. Just let us know. Okay, y'all. Hey, Kafa. What do we want them to do?
Maurice, we want everyone to stay fit with Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Follow, share, comment, and subscribe to the No Fruit Podcast.
Continue to listen to us on your favorite podcast channels.
And look for new episodes every Thursday.
We thank y'all very much for listening to us.
May God bless you all.
Peace.
We all know a guy who only occasionally shaves for big occasions, and it's because that occasional shave really hurts. It's the time of year for big occasions, and yet there he is, suffering with that cheap drugstore razor. Let's help him out. Henson Shaving's line of razors, built with aerospace precision, deliver a smooth shave your dad, brother, and even son can enjoy, eventually. With replacement blades just 10 cents each, you'll buy it once and they'll use it for life. How's that for the perfect gift? Celebrate with 100 free blades on your first purchase, and no subscription headaches. HensonShaving.com/holiday.
Don't forget that your skin is your largest organ, and the sun can be your skin's worst enemy. Dermatologist-recommended Neutrogena products offer the ultimate protection for your skin. From makeup remover wipes to Hydro Boost Water Gel Facial Moisturizer, BJ's has your entire lineup of Neutrogena skincare products. And now through December 3rd, save $4 on any Neutrogena product at BJ's. Love your skin back and save now through December 3rd, only at BJ's.